Hello, 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 and welcome back to Talking to Tequila with Chloe. That's me, Chloe, and welcome back after a 1 week reprieve. I appreciate you guys giving me a week. I know a few people messaged and were sad that I was off, but told me to take care of myself, which I did. We will get more into my 1 week reprieve in a little bit, but first, let me give you the quick rundown of what we are covering this week because it is going to be a fabulous week. First and foremost, I will be covering my little break. I will be covering friends. There's something going on in the air right now with friendship that is monumental. A little weekly catch up. This is my 50th episode. So we're going to go through a little walk down memory lane to celebrate episode number 50 of Talking to Tequila with Chloe. And then, of course, some Tequila time. The Summer House trailer has dropped. The 2026 Golden Globe nominations are here. And then, of course, the Peaky Blinders movie poster and release date have been dropped, which I'm more than excited to be talking about. And then, of course, a little politicking segment. More on the informational, educational side, we're going to be talking about Jasmine Crockett, which I cannot wait to dive into. But first, let's just revisit last week. Now, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of it. I couldn't possibly, but just know I've got some personal stuff going on in my life right now. Some things that I'm keeping close to the chest or vest. I don't know. Close to the vest, close to the chest, with a vest, in a nest. I'm literally so talented. Okay, so some things are going on. Last week, I got a pretty upsetting phone call on Tuesday, which is the day that I normally record my podcast. And for me, even though it's been a goal of mine to never miss a week of podcasting, it was paramount that I did not get on a microphone last week because I was distraught, to say the least. And I just didn't think it was good for me personally, professionally, social media wise, to get on a microphone when I'm so upset, because there does have to be a little bit of a boundary and a barrier between sharing your life because you want to be transparent with people and you want people to come along on a journey with you, and also not being dumb. So there are certain things that happen in your life, like let's say when Jordan hurt her self when she fell. There were several weeks that passed before I even brought that up, because then I even brought it up because Jordan said I could let you guys know what's going on because people already knew her from her others, from her health stories. So there are times where even though you want to be real and in the moment and take people along on a journey with you, you have to respect the real world ramifications and repercussions and social norms of putting certain things out in the world. So last week I needed to take a break off. I needed it. I appreciated it. To be real, I could probably still take some time off, but I am feeling a little bit better. I do need to say, I don't know. And when I can share with you what's going on, I will. I don't know if it'll be in 6 months from now, 6 years from now. I don't really know. But what I will say is I don't know what life lessons I'm going to learn from this last few weeks, but I know there will be life lessons in it. The one current life lesson that I am learning in real time, and I've already known it, but it's been exemplified, is you are going to meet, I don't even want to get upset. You're going to meet certain people in your life who will be, I do not even want to get upset when I'm saying this. It's actually a good thing. You are going to meet people in your life that are going to be foundational pillars of friendship and support for your entire life. It is very important when you meet those people and they show up for you that you acknowledge it deeply, clock it and channel it deeply into who you are. There have been people in my life who I always known have been like my friend. I've always known they've been a good friend. I've always known they've been a rider, right? Like I've always known some people I'm talking about right now are my friend Holly. Some people I'm talking about right now are my friend Brandon, and a few other people from work. Um, and my friend, my other girlfriends in my real life. My dad, even. I told my dad about this. Have I always known Brandon's one of my best friends in the entire world? Yes. Have I known that he has understood me on layers and levels that almost no one else in my entire life has? Yes. Do I know that he truly knows me and loves me and does not judge me at all? Yes. I have a friend, Holly, at work. Have I known me and Holly are on the same page about a lot of things for a long time? Yes. Do I know that Holly has my back in a lot of things? Yes. Do I know that Holly really does know me? Yes. But what I'm learning this week is to have loyalty and friendship and true concern for people and true empathy and true drive to help someone. My friends have exceeded my expectation in a way that the way that they're checking in on me, the way that they're showing up for me it's unbelievable. To know that there are people in my life that are that loyal. And when I say loyal, I don't mean like you're loyal to me because you're indebted to me or you're loyal to me because you follow me. That's not what I mean. I mean people that we all understand each other and know each other and we show up for each other. And if I need them, they're there. And if they need me, I'm there. That kind of loyalty. To know that that is there through thick and thin, because it's very easy to be loyal and to be fun and to be friends when things are light and easy. It is another thing to know that someone's down and out, and every single day there is a text message, there is a check-in, there is a comforting from them. I just feel beyond blessed to have them in my life. I don't want to get upset. Okay. And I will say this right now. There's a list of people in my life that if I ever make it, they won't have to have one neuron in their brain think about money again the rest of their lives. There's a running list. Now, there's people that I'm going to give money to because I'm just like, you've been cool and I like you. And or my lunch ladies at the hospital, like they're all getting money. Like there's people in my life that are going to get money. There's people in my life that will never have a want again. That's it. Because good people are good people. Okay. So thank you again for my break last week. I really needed it. I appreciate everyone who always is concerned about me and making sure that I'm taking care of myself first. 2025 has been a really interesting year. I feel like a lot of people, and I was kind of wondering if I was the only one, because last week I was really letting some people get into my head, and like the names that they were calling me, I was starting to kind of believe about myself. So, I was kind of thinking of myself last week, like I'm a disappointment, I'm a failure, I'm a destructive, I'm a problem. That's what I was kind of thinking. That's how I was feeling about myself last week. Just kind of like, what are you even? I'm difficult. I'm just, negative. I was thinking that about myself. And then I started to think, even in content creation and social media, I was thinking, I'm the worst part of social media. I was just thinking that, I don't know if failure is the right word, because failure has a preconceived notion as almost like you didn't succeed. It was worse than that. I was thinking I am part of the I'm part of the thing that's wrong with what's wrong with the world. Like I'm critical, I'm abrasive, I'm harsh. And I was really thinking that 2025 just kind of turned me into a bad person. It turned me into a critical, cynical, difficult person. And I was feeling, I really don't want to get upset. I was feeling ashamed of myself. And my friends and some people that I talk to, some that I have known for a long time, Holly and Brendan, and even my friends Stacy and at work, and a lot of different people, even a new girl that I met in the emergency department in my Maryland hospital. Through talking with them throughout the week, some about the things that are going on in my personal life and some just in general, and even videos that I've seen online that have helped me feel better, I'm kind of coming back out of it now, where I'm going, there's part of me that feels upset that I let things affect me so much, especially like politically or personally, if someone says something to me. But then I kind of realized, with talking to people and seeing different things, it is actually okay, and it doesn't make you a bad person, and it doesn't make you critical and cynical and difficult and bad, to understand what's happening right now in the real world and have a realistic viewpoint of what this means for people and what this means for places and what this means for the country and what this means for individuals and what it means for minorities. That doesn't mean you're a negative, pessimistic, bad person. You're allowed to hear really troubling, horrible things and understand it and accept it and not put a positive spin on it. You're allowed to be beat down by the year sometimes. And if you get beat down and your spirit gets beat down a little bit, that doesn't mean you're a mean, bad person. That means you are consuming information and letting it affect you properly. You should be, if anyone says 2025 was a fucking great year for me, it fucking rocked. I loved it. 2025 could be one of my best years yet. I mean, to me, that would be crazy. Now, of course, we need to always pay attention to the phrase, you can look into the darkness, but don't become the darkness. And I do think that I've been doing a good job at that this year. Maybe am a little disappointed in myself that I've looked into the darkness a little bit too long, but I don't think I became the darkness. I think I've tried to maintain a relatively good, positive attitude. And, even in terms of like your personal life and work life, with just things that I've talked about with my friends and experiences that I've had this last week and a half, creating boundaries for yourself, or being secure in who you are, or not being open to being mistreated or misused by people, doesn't mean that you're difficult. That means that you are maturing and you have a certain base level of standard that you want to be treated by. And if you're not being treated by that, it's okay for you to recalibrate what is important to you and what's not important to you, or what you're willing to accept from people. There is nowhere in this world that says you need to be perfect and happy and pleasant 100% of the time. That doesn't mean you can be mean or abusive, but you don't have to go around this world with a smile painted on your face 24/7. And if you're not, then that means you're painted as something that you're not. That's just not true. I've been listening to the Finally Over album by Summer Walker nonstop, because I feel like that entire album, I've heard some people say that album is really centers men, and I couldn't disagree more. I actually think it decentralizes men wildly. I feel like that album is full of women who are winning and in charge and fabulous and make their own money and have their own success, and they're saying, this is the life I live. You can fall into or not. This is what I like. This is what I do. This is what I can do. It's not that album. I'm listening to it on repeat because I'm trying to remember who the fuck I am. I feel like this year I've had such an identity crisis. I feel like I really like obviously posting on social media and sharing my life and sharing my story. But there is a part of me, and I don't know if it's social media, I don't know if it's work, I don't know if it's a quarter life crisis or a third life crisis. I think it's a third life crisis. I don't know what it is, but there's a part of me where I'm feeling like it's not that I forgot who I am, but kind of. I'm almost having like a fractured sense of self, of who I know I am, how people perceive me, and what people tell me I am. That's what's going on right now. Who I know I am, how I'm perceived by people, and then what people tell me I am. And the two latter are bleeding into who I know I am. And that is what I need to work on. That's the most important thing. Now let's just shift gears off of this. I feel like I've done a pretty good job, saying my piece about last week. And like I said, when I can, if I want to ever say more or if I feel it's appropriate, I will. But as of right now, it's just personal stuff going on right now that I'm going to keep close to the chest. Now, to switch things up just a little bit, if you were watching on YouTube, I don't know if you can tell through the screen or not, my cheeks are actually beet red. I've put foundation on my cheeks to try to cover it up a little bit. I think I have rosacea. I don't know it for a fact, but for years, my cheeks have always gotten extremely red and hot. More than any other part of my body. Like if you would touch my cheek, it would be like on fire. And I always thought it was honestly like blushing. Like I always thought it was like, oh, I wear my emotions on my cheeks, like when I'm nervous or when I'm happy, because that would kind of be when it would flare up. Like if I was talking about something that embarrassed me or made me nervous, like my cheeks would get really red. And I'm just like, oh, just me and my girly blushness. Like, what is this? The Pride and the Prejudice? Me and my rosy cheeks. That's not what's happening anymore. What's happening now is almost every single day, and I don't know if it's the cold weather. I don't know if it's some kind of like emotional crisis. I really don't know what it is. Every single day, my cheeks are flaming red, on fire, hot to the touch. My entire cheeks are like scarlet red. And if I try to put anything on it to like cover it up, it stings and it burns. Is that rosacea? Now, my aunt does have rosacea, but I feel like it's odd that it's only on my cheeks but it's every day now. Now, I did get a new barrier cream from Peter Thomas Roth that I'm going to be trying. I've heard it was like, I heard the Ryan Roth say it's like, was a, this, the eczema seal of approval, and like another skin area, like expertise, both like gave it their stamp of approval. So I am hoping that it helps my cheeks. I just am kind of like, am I just 35 with acne and rosacea and a wisdom tooth coming in? What is going on right now? And still, hold on. The things I've gained this year versus the things I've lost this year is crazy. Well, have I lost anything? I've lost 12 pounds. I gained 12 pounds and lost 12 pounds in 1 year because I started working at this damn hospital in Maryland where these lunch ladies cook it up every goddamn day. Do you know the last time I've had like home cooked meals, like really home cooked meals that weren't HelloFresh from someone other than myself? Like never. Like I don't have a mom growing up. Like she wasn't cooking me fucking shit because I don't even know where the hell she was at. Me and my dad, my dad would work and we would be in charge of like cooking dinner, the three girls, like the young girls. And we were poor, so our budget was, we were cooking beans and rice, we were having cans of sardines, we were having cans of lentil soup, and sometimes one of my favorite specialties was white bread and mustard. Like, oh, we would also splurge and get salmon. So we would get like a fillet of salmon and cook rice with it. That was really when we were living large. And my dad once let me make for dinner an onion pie, an Emerald Lagasse onion pie. That was crazy. I think it turned out good if I recall. Oh, and you know what we used to make all the time too? Honey mustard chicken. And I had looked up the recipe. Let's be real. I was cooking it up, chefing it up from a long, long time, okay? From my whole childhood, basically. Because my mom had no excuse. She should have been cooking for us. She didn't have a job. She was a stay-at-home alcoholic. Like, you can't even cook a meal. And we lived with my mom until 6th grade, or 5th grade. So what was the excuse? Like, she should have been cooking for me. I was cooking for her. She would always say, smash me up an avocado. I'm like, smashing up an avocado. I'm in 3rd grade, squeezing lemon into it, making her a guacamole. And what am I doing? Nothing. So for her, there's no excuse. But for my dad, he did have an excuse. He was, working full-time, raising 3 kids on his own. 4 with my brother, but my brother split time with his mom's house. So no one was really cooking for me too much. Now, my dad's second ex-wife used to cook for us, and that was great. But outside of that, I really wasn't a kid that had food being cooked for me. So that, obviously bled into when my dad was taking care of me. So right now with what I'm going through with the lunch ladies is I don't even think they really understand what's happening. Of course they don't, because they do not understand the relationship I have with them. For them, I am just an employee who comes to the cafeteria. For me, they are my mother cooking me a meal. I feel it feels unbelievable when I go down there and I get a scalloped potato and a green bean and a chicken, like a chicken leg or something. I'm like, look at this meal that these people like fucking cook for me and season and put time and effort into it. So I've been eating up their food twice a fucking week, or not twice a week, twice a day. If I'm working 3 days a week, I was having 6 meals from there, like lunch and dinner. Then I got a handle on things. I wrangled myself in because I was weighing myself and I'm like, I don't think my GLP-1s are working anymore. That's not true. It might have been true a little bit because I feel like I used like a company that, I don't know. I just feel like I was like gaining weight all of a sudden. I was like, what the hell? But now I'm with a different company where I feel like I'm losing it again. But losing weight, not losing my mind, but that too, kind of, just joking. I got a handle on myself. I'm like, you cannot go down to the cafeteria. You cannot be eating you cannot be eating this stuff twice a day. You can't be getting meatloaf and mashed potatoes and Brussels sprouts and green beans and all this stuff twice a day. It's crazy. It's not okay. So I gained 12 pounds. I lost 12 pounds. I also lost my sense of self. I gained panic attacks. I had 2 panic attacks this year. Do you know I've had 2 panic attacks in my entire life? And then 2 in 1 year? Okay. So I do not know how I got on that topic. We're shifting again. I'm so sorry. I'm a little rusty from taking off last week. Please forgive me. And also, not only do I think I have rosacea, I tweaked my back a little bit at work last week. And now like I'm focusing on some like lower back pain, rosacea, and self-consciousness. It's really been interesting. I've gained a little bit of acne and potentially rosacea. Okay, great. Now, this week, I went to a place called Pins, okay, in Southside Works. My friend's husband, Holly, her husband graduated from perfusionist school. If you don't know what a perfusionist is, stop this podcast and Google it right now. Look up, it's important. It's a very important job. It's a lot of chemistry. It's life-saving work in the hospital. So my friend's husband just graduated perfusionist school. So they had a little graduation party at Pins in the Southside Works. Now, let me tell you something. The one thing I have gained this year is I think I gained 8 new friends' phone numbers this year, which it's really hard as an adult to make new friends, but I feel like there is an openness to me this year of like meeting new people. I've gotten 2 girls' numbers from the ICU in Maryland. I got 3 coworkers' numbers in Maryland. 4 girlfriends I'm working with in Maryland. I got a girl's number from the ED in Maryland. And now, when I was at Pins yesterday, celebrating my friend's husband. Now, Pins is interesting. It's like a little bowling alley arcade. They have slides. I didn't realize normally when you pass places like that, you're like, that's going to go out of business soon. I mean, who's going into a bowling alley like in the Southside Works? Monday night, fucking packed. Here's why. It's a bar. You can get drinks, but then also there's like all these kids games around too. Like there's arcades, there's like hacky sack, there's beer pong, like big garbage can beer pongs, there's bowling. So basically what happens is this place was jam-packed with like 12-year-old boys running around and their parents just slamming Heinekens. It was truly seemed like it. Are kids allowed to be at Dave & Buster's? It seemed like Chuck E. Cheese and Dave & Buster's mixed together. I don't know if kids are allowed to be in Dave & Buster's, or maybe they are, and that's why Dave & Buster's is popular too. It is a place where you can literally bring your kid in, take the leash off of their collar, and let them run around like rabid animals while you and your friends like go get beers at the bar. So apparently Holly has a brother. Hadn't had a clue. I'm sure over the last 8 years that I've known Holly, she's told me that at some point. Didn't remember it, okay? Hold on. I need to hear. Oh God, my dog's barking. I wonder what she's barking at. Either the mailman or her ball went under the couch. If her ball went under the couch, it's going to be a long next 45 minutes. I hope you don't hear Luna barking. She has a brother. Great, nice guy, met him. He has a fiance who I met, who is really cool. I can tell that we're going to be thick as thieves friends. And then we actually ended up talking about where we live. One town over. My town bumps up against her town. Can you believe that? So I also got her number. So I have so many like friend potentials right now. I mean, here's the thing. I have my core group of friends that I've known for years and years and years and years and years who, they're like that's my friend. I can go to Jordan's house. I can go to Katie's house, kick off my shoes, sit on the couch, Sam, Jess, Emily. I can go to their house or even like Emily, just I can just do whatever I want, say whatever I want, brand them. Those are like friends that I really have to have no discretion. Is that the right word? I can just live my life. I can let my freak flag fly. I can eat with my gloves on. I can be neurotic. I can be paranoid. I can be fun. I can be joking. I can be, goofy. And now I have a new group of friends. Now not new group, new people that I'm getting to know. That, you really don't want to scare off new friends. I always find it's not like I ever want to hide myself, but as I'm getting to know new people, I just can't really 100% be myself because it can be a little, I don't think off-putting is the right word, but I have quirks and I don't want to show them right away because for some people, when you meet someone and they have a lot of quirks, you can either funnel them into endearing and charming or odd and off-putting. I would like them to get to know me to a point where they funnel me into the charming and endearing category and not into the off-putting category or the really perplexing and odd category. So the new group of people and numbers that I have, I'm going to delicately, mature that while still having my group of friends that I can really be insane about. Now, my friend Sam has been really on my ass about me taking her to New York because she wants to see New York how I do it. And I do think I'm going to confirm and log in with her an April New York trip. That's really my only to-do list right now of friends, and I need to call my friend Jess back. I keep telling her I'm going to call her back, and I need to call her back. The thing is with Jess, when me and Jess talk to each other, we talk for like 3 hours. So anytime I know that I'm going to call Jess, I need to know that I have like 3 hours available to talk. And the issue is normally I would call her on my drives to and from Maryland. The problem right now is Summer Walker's album has me in such a chokehold that I'm listening to it and I can't stop listening to it. So I have to pick, like, do I call Jess or do I listen to 1-800-HEARTBREAK again? And I've been working on memorizing Go Girl, all the words of Go Girl, which I'm pretty sure, and like that's another thing. People said Go Girl is like centralizes men. No, it does not. If you are a girl and you were saying, I'm so bad, I'm so fine, I'm so thick, I'm so beautiful, I'm so stunning that I can drop that ass down and make it stand up, I understand that you might be thinking, oh, but you're saying that like you'll shake your ass and like get him hard. No, it is saying I'm so bad, I can do whatever I want and get whatever expected outcome I want. The song is not literally catered to you by Beyonce. There is some kind of misconception where Go Girl is like, let me cater to you because baby, this is your day. No, it's saying smell good, taste good, smell good, look good, feel great. Shape like a number 8. That's all positive for her so far. That has nothing to do with a man. Drop that ass down, make it stand up. Okay, again, like I'm running the narrative here. Now the only part that I do think is like a little anti-girl code is like, baby mama can't stand us, act tough, get your man fucked. It's like, well, yeah, it's like, don't just go have sex with a guy to get, like make the mom mad. That's not girl code. Now, if you just like the guy and you want to do something with him, that's one thing. But it's not very girl code to be like, if you're pissing me off, I'll like just go sleep with this guy because I'm just like gonna mark my claim. That's like the only part of the song where I'm like, come on. But it's like even Lauda's part, big mama, no kids. Okay. How's that centralizing a man? Are you going to make it rain for these thunder thighs? That's like lining your own pockets. That has nothing to do with centralizing men. That has to do with like, look at this body. Give me some money now and then get out of my face. What's wrong with that? I mean, I think it's a woman empowerment song, to be honest with you. Let's be real. This is not a cater to you 2.0. Now, the 50th episode of Talking to Tequila with Chloe had me in a little bit of not an emotional tailspin, but it's a walk down memory lane, a pros and cons, and, a reflection on the year. And I really had been thinking like, man, I think this is just honest. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I was really thinking, damn, did the podcast go downhill? That's truly what went through my mind, because I feel like in the beginning of the podcast, I was almost doing more like, not shtick, but kind of like these like fun, flirty, playful, like topic-based episodes, where I feel now it has morphed slightly less into like comedically entertaining you with these zingers and one-liners and these like very encapsulated like stories or walks down memory lane, or stories or like topics. And I feel like it's gotten slightly more conversational, and it's like if I happen to say something funny and charming, you like it. But before, I would be like, I remember one of my favorite lines is when the inauguration first happened, and I said something along the lines of like, Trump is behind JD Vance, like pulling his ponytail, slapping his ass, because JD Vance is like literally Trump's bitch. And I was like, wow, that was so funny and clever. Or like I had a segment where I was talking about kids in movies and TV shows and how it's absolutely, to me, like one of the most heinous things available. Like I cannot stand a kid in a movie. And I'm like, damn, I think I got away from those like kind of niche, clever topics of like really obscure things. And now it's more conversational and not rambling, but more just like come along on this journey with me. And I was just wondering if that was a pro or a con, because I listen to many different types of podcasts, and I really do like two different types, where one, it's very like point-based, topic-based, on to the next, kind of almost like Radiohead, talky, niche, funny, key. And then I also like the conversational podcast, where I feel like it's me and it's you and we're just talking. And so taking a walk down memory lane, I'm like, damn, look at all these like little fun things I used to hit on. And now I feel like it's more just like two girls or two guys. Well, not two girls or two guys. Two girls or a girl and a guy, or a girl and a they and them talking. And I don't know if that's the vibe or not. I'm really just trying to be me. And it's an ever evolving podcast where, of course, I'll find my perfect sweet spot, but it has been a really interesting year. Now, the one thing I will say is over the year, we've had 3 different setups. First, I started in my makeup room. Then it went to my attic in my beanbag. And now I have this. Now, I still don't have my pictures hung up on the wall, which I need to do. But I'm telling you, like this year, it really has been just like white knuckling it. So maybe it's going to be my goal in January to get those hung up on the wall, or if I have free time at some point. And like, this is a lamp. You can't even tell it's a lamp. It just looks like a silver pool. It looks like a stripper pole for a mouse. You can't even see the top of the lamp. Like, I need to get that out of there. It's so ridiculous. But what I did think would be fun is on episode 10, which was 40 episodes ago, I made a dream guest list for Talking to Tequila with Chloe. Now, I've always said that my podcast is never going to be guest based. It will be like recurring individuals based, like my sister or my friends, but it's never a goal of mine to like quote interview people, because truthfully, the goal is for me to be the star. Like, I'm not, my goal trajectory is not to be like Alex Cooper and like interview people. That's not the goal. The goal is to be like, I would love to have a reality TV show with a mixture of like the Anna Nicole Smith reality TV show mixed with like Reno 911. Like, I would love for it to be really, really funny, borderline off-putting comedy, not in a controversial way, in a, is that dry humor? Is that how she really is? Mixed with like real life events happening to me. That would be like the dream. I would love that so much. I would love to just live my life and have someone follow me with a camera. That's goals. Or my full-time podcast tour. But just for the fun of it, I wanted to do an updated dream guest list from episode 10 to episode 50. Now, the dream guest list initially was Stanley Tucci, Bill Burr, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, Keke Palmer, and 50 Cent. We've cut half that. Half the list is gone. Okay. So Bill Burr, when we talk about decentralizing men from our lives, I'll tell you one thing. I sure as shit has decentralized a lot of these comics. You know, I got really into comedy in the last like 2 years. And while I still am into comedy, a lot of these guys, I always feel like one of my biggest problems is I give people the benefit of the doubt. And I always think, like, I always just give, well, it's funny because some people probably say I don't do that, but I actually really do think I do. Like, I always think that people are well-intentioned first and they're not like trying to pull one over on me or like they're not being misleading. But man, the way I thought like Bill Burr and a lot of these guys were really like would do the right thing in the face of controversy or in the face of maybe a what's the word I'm looking for? The way I thought that a lot of these people and a lot of these men would do the right thing when given the choice, and it's just like I was so wrong. Like Bill Burr, like he's just another guy. He's just another guy. That's one of these life lessons that I really have to learn. A lot of the times, these men, they really just are like any other man. And it's fucking crazy. So it's funny because I met this girl in the ED last week. I've mentioned her a few times now. And we were talking. And she basically was like, women don't spend all their time just talking about men and talking about like, basically she was saying we like fed off each other perfectly. She like made a comment like women don't just sit around talking about men all day. And then I was like, women have decentralized men from their lives in 2025. And it was like we just like we alley-ooped it. Like she threw the basketball. I caught it midair and landed it. And then we were kind of like, are we cool? Like we're literally friends now. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if she thinks we're friends, but like we're definitely friendly. You know, I got her number. I've commented on a few of her TikTok videos. Hey, to me, that's forging a friendship. Now, the updated dream guest list. I put mild thought into this. Mild. But Stanley Tucci's still on the list. Just because I really do think he's a nice guy, and watch me eat my words because I've just like gone on saying forever how like you actually like sometimes these men just really turn out to be these fucking men. But Stanley Tucci's still on the list. He still seems safe right now. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, only because wow, my dog Luna is going abso-fucking-lutely bananas. And one thing about Luna is she has some kind of attitude problem. This girl, this woman, literally came into my home at 8 weeks old, never had a want or a need in her life, gets grilled chicken, gets filet, gets hand fed. She walks every single day. She gets to sleep on any piece of furniture. She's allowed on the bed. She's allowed on the couches. She's allowed anywhere she wants. She gets treats. She gets nighttime snackies. This woman has every single want she could ever have in her life catered to. And she still acts like she's in torture. Like she has such an attitude problem all the time. I'm like, God damn, Luna, can you just relax, girl? Like you're actually being out of control. So Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, only really because no one knows about them. I mean, these are two women that literally raised us and then disappeared off the face of the earth, and no one knows what their personalities are like other than people in their own lives. That's why I want to interview them, because I just want to know what they are like. Mark Maron, obviously, as you guys know, this year I did gain a love for the WTF with Mark Maron podcast. He is one of the good guys. If Mark Maron turns out to be one of the bad guys, that'll be the day I retire. If I'm really that bad at reading people, I don't need to be in this business. But Mark Maron truly seems like one of the good guys. And then Glorilla. Now, I picked her very strategically. I tried to pick people that generally give me joy. There is not an interview that I have seen with Glorilla. There's not a clip I have seen with Glorilla. There's not a song that I've seen with Glorilla that did not make me smile. She is seemingly a ball of joy, light, talent, and charisma. And I want to know her. And I want to talk to her. And I want to be her friend. Okay? That's just the truth of the fact of the matter. And then secondly, Meg the Stallion. Those are basically my updated list of people that I would like to speak to and interview. And Meg the Stallion, do I even need to explain that? I mean, the thing is with her, she came in, I've always known of Meg the Stallion, but this year I have like so heavily relied on and focused on like reestablishing and like watering my female friendships. It's always been important to me, but with this year being so politically challenging and not even politically challenging, like morally, ethically, human rights, just like bleakly challenging, some of the main aspects of like my mental sanity have been the friendships in my life. And to me, Meg the Stallion, her like entire vibe is seemingly like being that bitch, being a girl's girl, lifting girls up. And all of her music is like very heavily like women empowerment music. And I know some people don't understand it because they think like rap songs can't be women empowerment, or if you're cussing or if you're talking about fucking or bucking or knocking, like, like just being like overtly sexual or like overtly being like, I am that bitch, that somehow that's not female empowerment. I view it the total opposite. Like it's to me like women who are so insanely secure and confident in who they are that they sing about, talk about, rap about, basically just being like who you are in whatever facet or moment you are in your life. You know what I mean? Like if you're fighting with a guy, you're fighting with a guy. If you're not and you're in love, you're in love. If it's like a hypersexual song that's about like literally taking what you want when you want, that's the vibe. If it's about like not letting these people fuck with you anymore, it's like the song No, I think the Summer Walker album. You've been hearing yes, but no. Get used to hearing no. Like if you're just like over it and like you're not doing that, like you're not, like you're switching up. Like these people, they're feeding literally when I tell you there is like a canister in my body that says like, you're that bitch. Don't forget who you are. And every single day, these girls in the music industry are feeding that. You don't understand. If my life was saved this year, it was saved by music. and friendship. Like, truly, like, you cannot understand how much I mean that this year. Man, God, I wish Luna would stop barking. Sorry, it's like distracting me kind of. Okay, now, because it's like, what is your ball down? Like if I could talk to Luna actually for 10 minutes through a psychic, I would be like, so you're 12 years old. You know that the couch has a space underneath it that you can't get your ball. You choose to play by the crack in the couch where you can't get your ball. You're a smart woman. Every time this happens, like, how are you going to act shocked that that happened? Don't play by the crack in the couch anymore. You know, it's like, do I have to explain it? Like, do I have to really like explain it to you? Like I just want to yell. I want to say, remember, I think I've done a few episodes where I was like, Luna, stop barking. Stop. Her barking is out of control. Okay, let me get off Luna absolutely being. I've always said it. I've said it several times. Luna's my biggest hater. She is like one of the number one people that just is always trying to throw a kink in this podcast. Okay. So let's get into tequila time. Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. 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 Ah, ch-ch. Ah, ch-ch. Ah, ch-ch. Okay, first and foremost, the Summer House trailer has dropped. It looks absolutely stunning I have had this bit of a feeling that I'm kind of getting off of reality TV a little bit. Hold on. Luna! Stop barking! I don't think that's going to help anything, but I tried. Let's just see what happens. I apologize, guys. It's like she probably just wants literally a treat. It's like, it's my own fault. I should have trained her better. I have been on this kick where I'm kind of over reality TV a little bit. Some of these people are just so fucking mean on there that it does not make it enjoyable. Like, it really does not make it enjoyable to watch like 8 women gang up on one woman. I cannot stand it. But there have been a few reality TV shows that still have me hooked. The Challenge, Southern Charm, Summer House. Now, I was not sure how this new Summer House was going to go because Paige is not there anymore. But let me tell you something. There are 2 major storylines evolving from this season. The first one is Kyle and Amanda in whatever drama they have. I'm barely interested at best in that, okay? What gagged me during this trailer is West and Jesse are almost in this like dueling battle for Ciara. And apparently Ciara's saying like she's trying to be more lighthearted this season. And Jesse is like asking West if he's okay if him and Ciara make out. West is kind of being like, is that a possibility? Now, a few things with that. First and foremost, I really don't know if West is just like, sorry, I had to straighten my legs and now I look crazy, but my legs were getting sore. And if I do have socks on, this is not OnlyFans. You're not getting free feet content. You know what I mean? If I'm putting my feet on the internet, I'm getting paid for it. So it's hard to say. I think to the cynical eye, some people would say West is only wanting to get back with Ciara because he's jealous now of Jesse. I find that to probably be a more cynical take. I think West wants to get back with Ciara because he got to gallivant around for a year and realized that he literally had the baddest bitch and he fumbled it. Ciara is smart, beautiful, politically inclined. She shows up. She's intelligent. I know I already said smart, but I wanted to add intelligent as well. And West is seeing how bad she is in the best way. And he's probably going like, damn, I dropped the ball. And now I don't know how to get it back, but I need to figure it out. So I'm sorry. I know that this might be controversial. I love Wes and Ciara together. If people are like, she shouldn't get back with him, I don't know. There is something about West where he really is learning how to be famous in the most painful way possible. He's fumbled Ciara. He, wanted to be single for his come up on Summer House. He, started this podcast with this like MAGA adjacent like WNBA player. And I know that he's gone online and like defended himself a few times with that, saying like, and he did at BravoCon say like several times, like he supports the LGBTQIA plus community, like all these different things. Like I do know where he stands politically. It's just he cannot help but learn these life lessons in the worst, most destructive way possible. And I know that he has said that he wanted to do the podcast with this like they call her MAGA Barbie, I guess, because if you don't talk to MAGA people, like how are you ever supposed to penetrate them and have them see what like that they're supporting the wrong thing or something like that? Ew, I don't know how I feel about that, but at the end of the day, he is seemingly, a fun, kind, charming, emotionally in-tuned liberal. Whether or not he's learning life lessons in an extremely painful, dumb way, he does seem to be that in general. So for me, him and Ciara getting together, like I love Ciara and I think West is generally like a kind, fun guy. And I love that for Ciara. I'm really trying hard to like not crucify people anymore that when push comes to shove are on our side. You know what I mean? Like let's save that for the people that really are actually the op. Do you know what I mean? Like let's save that for like JD Vance. Like he's the actual op. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not going to categorize West and JD Vance in the same category because West thinks that he can like somehow affect change. That basically I think he's trying to say like if half of the fan base is MAGA Barbie fans and he's a liberal man, like he would rather them hear some of his perspectives or something. You can agree or disagree, but in general, I'm like, well, I love them together. Now I will say, if you're watching Southern Charm right now, Sally is friends with Vanita. And Vanita and Craig are fighting, but Sally likes Craig. So she's kind of betraying her friendship with Vanita by pursuing Craig. And I would just like to say that Jessie from Summer House is Sally. Absolutely no loyalty. Like Jessie thinks Ciara's hot and probably likes her personality. So he's like, West, do you mind if I make out with her? The same as Sally being like, I'll always have your side, Vanita, but I also like Craig and want to pursue him and he's hot. But I would always pick your side. It's like, no. Jessie and Sally are the same. They are the same person. It's like no loyalty to your friend, Now, let's get into the 2026 Golden Globe nominations. I'm going to only briefly cover them because obviously there will actually be the Golden Globes, which I would want to cover more fully. But first, I just want to talk about who is leading the Golden Globe nominations. One Battle After Another has 9 nominations. Sentimental Value has 8 nominations. I did not see it. Sinners has 7 nominations. Hamnet has 6 nominations. Frankenstein has 5 nominations. Wicked for Good has 5. It Was Just an Accident has 4. Bugonia, that's that Emma Watson. Wait, not Emma Watson. Emma Stone movie where she shaves her head. That has 3 nominations. K-Pop Demon Hunters has 3 nominations. Marty Supreme has 3. No Other Choice has 3. And The Secret Agent has 3. Now, what I do want to say is that I have decided full-fledged this year, because I need to have goals basically every quarter for me to stay okay. So I decided I'm going to watch most of these nominated movies, whether it be for the Golden Globes, like maybe I'll start there with these nominations, but then for sure all the Oscar nominations for like Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Picture, like I'm watching all of those because as of right now, out of all these movies, I've seen Sinners and I've seen One Battle After Another, and I loved both of them so much. I'm so biased. I'm like, if One Battle After Another and Sinners doesn't sweep, this thing is rigged. I've not even seen the other movies. So I do want to not be biased in my opinion on this stuff, but I will have to say, One Battle After Another is probably one of the best, if not the best movie I've ever seen in my life. The acting is fucking insane. The storytelling's insane. The cinematography's insane. But with that being said, Sinners is so visually stimulating. The storytelling, the directing, the music in Sinners, like also like to me, I'm like, it needs to be split right down the goddamn middle of who takes home what. But with that being said, the Golden Globe nominations, at least the big front runners, are for Best Motion Picture Drama. It is Frankenstein, Hamnet, It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and The Secret Agent. Obviously, for Best Drama, I want Sinners to win. But again, it's the only movie I saw of that category, and it was so good that I think it should win, but I do need to watch the other ones to not be biased. Now, I am only going to cover the topics that, or the categories that I personally care about right now. Best performance by a female actor in a motion picture drama. Those nominees are Eva Victor in Sorry Baby, Jennifer Lawrence in Die My Love, Jessie Buckley in Hamnet, Julia Roberts in After the Hunt, Renee Rensevi in Sentimental Value, and Tessa Thompson in Heda, Hedda. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Hada. I have no opinion on that. I just wanted to read it because it's Best Actress. Okay. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture drama. This I can guarantee I will not be watching any of these movies that oh my God. I thought I just heard something. Like someone walking up the stairs. Spooky stuff. Okay. For this category, for best performance by a male actor in a motion picture drama, if I have not seen these and they're only listed for this, I'm not watching it. I don't care about the best actor in these movies. First of all, Dwayne Johnson in The Smashing Machine, 0% chance I'm going to watch a movie for a male nomination about sports. I think it's about wrestling. I do not care. That's not my problem. Jeremy Allen White in Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, 0% chance I will watch anything just because Jeremy Allen White is in it. And even furthermore, 0% chance I will ever watch a movie based on Bruce Springsteen. If you said to me, what are the things that you almost care about the least in life? Probably first would be Bruce Springsteen, and directly after would be Jeremy Allen White. I listened to an interview with him with Mark Maron. Boy, some people really take themselves seriously. And it's like, do you, boo? But I just cannot stand people sometimes that are like, oh, the profession. Oh, I'm like, oh my God. See, that's why I like Jack Black. And like, can we lighten up just a little bit? Can we laugh just a little bit? Joel Edgerton in Train Dreams, Michael B. Jordan in Sinners. He played twins. He should obviously win. Oscar Isaac in Frankenstein. I did not think Oscar Isaac in Frankenstein was very good. I think he was playing like a very painfully obvious disgruntled man. I don't know. In Wagner Moura in The Secret Agent. Now, I've seen The Secret Agent come across my desk multiple times. I do think I'll be watching that. Let's go to... See, I don't understand why for the Golden Globes, a musical and a comedy are in the same category. So best performance by a female actor in a motion picture, musical or comedy. what? How is that the same thing? So it's Amanda Seyfried in The Testament of Anne Lee, Chase Infinity in One Battle After Another. She was excellent in that movie. Cynthia Erivo in Wicked for Good. That's what I mean. It's like in a comedy or musical. So Cynthia Erivo, who has the voice of an angel, is up against Chase Infinity in One Battle After Another, where she was absolutely beyond reason excellent. How is that fair to have them against each other? Emma Stone in Begonia, Kate Hudson in Song Sung Blue, and Rose Byrne in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Okay. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon, George Clooney and Jay Kelly, Jesse Plemons in Begonia, Lee Bung-hun in No Other Choice, Leonardo DiCaprio in One Battle After Another, and Timothée Chalamet in Marty Supreme. Obviously, I think Leonardo DiCaprio is going to win that because his acting in One Battle After Another was truly, to me, the best acting of his career. I do think he'll win those. And then best performance by a female actor in a supporting role. No. That's too in the weeds. I can't get into that. No. The only other one I'm going to read is the best performance by a male actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. Okay, that's interesting. Thank God we're not like getting into these like nitty-gritty categories. Adam Sandler and Jay Kelly. This is what I care about. Benicio del Toro in One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein, Paul Mescal in Hamnet, Sean Penn in One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård in Sentimental Value. Now, this is why I'm saying that I have such a bias, but here's the thing. In One Battle After Another, Benicio del Toro plays probably my favorite character in any movie of all time. He is a like karate or taekwondo teacher that also runs like an illegal, like, I don't even really know what it was, some kind of like illegal, like, I think he like helps immigrants or something. Like, I really couldn't figure it out, but the point is he is so funny in One Battle After Another. His character is so light-spirited and like intense, but also offers these hysterical moments of reprieve where it's like this tense, and then like Benicio del Toro comes up and is like so charming and hilarious. He has this scene where he gets pulled over by cops and he like comes out of his car and he's dancing and then he's like shaking his hips with his hands on his head and they're like, have you had anything to drink? And he's like, if you, like, really, 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 really funny in a way that exceeds normal comedy. But then Sean Penn is in One Battle After Another, and he plays this extremely, like, borderline neurodivergent, like, extremely high-strung, awkward, really uncomfortable in his own body, but also harsh and violent and cruel, while also being so odd and uncomfortable that you almost feel bad for him at the same time because you can tell there's like some sort of mental scenario playing into it. And he plays such a bad guy that you hate him. Like, to me in general, like Sean Penn, like you generally like, like Sean Penn, he, Mystic River, like I love Sean Penn. In this movie, you're like, die painfully. So it's so interesting to me that in this movie, for this specific category, there are two people in the same movie who have such opposite roles. Benicio del Toro adds this absolute comedic genius, levity, lightheartedness, the smile on your face, absolute pleasure and delight to watch. I've never smiled so hard on someone's scenes. And then the total juxtaposition of Sean Penn being absolutely painfully torturous to watch, but executing his role of being the bad guy perfectly. I am so interested to see who wins that category. And let's do Best Director as the last one. The Golden Globes also covers TV shows. I'm going to be real with you. I'm not interested in discussing that right now. Hamnet is Chloe Zhao, Zhao maybe. Guillermo del Toro in Frankenstein. Jafar Panahi in It Was Just an Accident. Joachim Trier, Joachimtrier in Sentimental Value. Paul Thomas Anderson in One Battle After Another, and Ryan Coogler in Sinners. That's going to be a tough one because, again, One Battle After Another and Sinners, such a hard battle. Now, Ryan Coogler, the way he integrated the storytelling and the music and the several subcontexts of historical relevance and storytelling in Sinners is truly a masterpiece. At the same time, One Battle After Another was such a crescendo of emotion, cinematography, audio, visual, acting. In One Battle After Another, the entire movie felt like a build up to a climax. From the minute it started till the minute it ended, you were on a roller coaster, but you never felt sick. You just always felt like you were propelling to the next scene. Whereas Sinners was more of a thoughtful and layered storytelling. So my gosh, I'll tell you what, I know that there's certain parts of me that are a little nerdy. I don't think I'm too like full-fledged, nerdy. Not that that's a bad thing, okay? But just in general for me, it's not like I'm, drilling. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't want to categorize. I don't want to make, I'm not going to get into what everyone is their own individual person. There's nothing wrong with being a little nerdy. I have a little bit of nerdy characteristics in me. Movies to me are what I nerd out on. I think being a nerd is really just what's the thing for you that really gets you going. So for some people, it might be anime. For some people, it might be Bandcamp. For some people, it might be movies. For some people, you might nerd out on certain types of music. For me, nothing really excites me or gets me really invested in something like movies do. So I'm really excited to see where this year's award shows go. I'm just thrilled. And this year, if you guys want to jump on the train with me, I will be watching all of these nominated movies so I can really have a true full picture of this year's award season. Now, I will say we will just end on Best Television Series Drama. The nominations are The Diplomat, Pluribus, Severance, Slow Horse, The Pit, and The White Lotus. All of those shows are extremely highly regarded. For me personally, of course, because the only thing I've seen is The Pit, I'm rooting for that. However, I do know things like Pluribus and Severance have had like really critically acclaimed reviews. So I don't know. You know me. I'm a bias queen. What am I going to say? And then lastly, for Tequila time, to just roll right into the continuation talk of Peaky Blinders, or of movies or TV shows and cinema and so on and so forth. Peaky Blinders has released its poster for its debut. Peaky Blinders is making a movie or made a movie, and it's called Peaky Blinders, The Immoral Man. And the launch dates and the premiere dates are, it is going to be in theaters March 6th. Yes, March 6th. And then it hits Netflix on March 20th. Now, come hell or high water, I do live in two separate states in split time pretty evenly. I will be finding a theater to watch this movie in. This movie is very important to me because there are certain things in my life that I relate to and kind of form emotional attachments to. For example, I started watching the challenge when I didn't have a home. Some would call it homeless, some would call it unhoused. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It's when I was 18 and had gotten my own apartment. It was in Moon Township, and it was in a little bit of a sketchy spot. And, I don't know if anyone ever recalls, but there was a probably 60s-year-old man who lived above me, and he started to kind of, I don't know why I say things and downplay it. I think it's because I don't want it to sound like I'm being dramatic or attention seeking. But so I was going to say he started kind of stalking me, but he was stalking me. I think I need to be able to I'm going to work on this year being more direct in what I'm saying, not in a harsh way, but like sometimes I think I try to soften things or play things down or up or something. And so I say things in a more confusing way. And I'm going to try to be a little bit more clear in my communication in 2026. So when I was 18, I got my own apartment in Moon. A man above me started to stalk me. He would knock on my door every night, and I was really scared that he was going to break in. And so sometimes I would sit in my bathroom with the door locked, and sometimes I would cry because I was so scared, because he just wouldn't stop like knocking on my door like every night, and sometimes for a really long time. And he started showing up at my work and waiting for me to get home, and just I was really scared. And on Christmas Eve, he knocked on my door again, and I got the courage, because I had a chain lock too, and I got the courage to open the door a little bit and say, please leave me. He asked what he always asks. Can I come in? Do you want to have some eggnog? And I was 18, and he was at least clearly in his 60s. And I said, can you please stop knocking on my door? You're scaring me. And he got upset, and I shut the door, and I went back into my bathroom, and I was scared. And I can't, I guess, confirm that it was him, and neither could the cops ever, but I woke up Christmas morning and the windows of my car were broken out, and there was a note in my windshield that said, if I can't be with you, fine, then no one can. So I moved out that day. And when I say I moved out, I was 18. I had no credit. I had nothing. I didn't have a savings account. And my friends were in college, and my dad had a new wife that I didn't really get along with, and I didn't have my childhood apartment anymore, home apartment. And so I just lived in my car. And for a long time, like maybe 6 months, I think that that's a long time. Sometimes my friends would let me stay on their couch, but the point is I've told this story before. Every once in a while, if I had a really good shift at Bahama Breeze, I would splurge and get myself a hotel room at a hotel in Moon Township. And this hotel did not have many channels on it, but it did always have reruns of the challenge on it. So some of my comfort was I would treat myself and stay in this hotel and watch the challenge. And so for me, like the challenge is, I'm emotionally attached to it. And the same with Peaky Blinders. When I started doing travel nursing in 2021, and I had moved to Boston, and I was going through, I don't know if I want to, I was going through, I was pretty like depressed. I was going through like a lot of just mental health. Like I felt depressed. I felt out of control with some of my OCD. I just felt like I couldn't catch my footing. And I started watching Peaky Blinders, and that was like an anchor for me in my life and in my time. Like if I can just get through the day, if I can just get through the shift, if I can just get, through, like there was an anchor at the end of my day or my week or something that I can turn on Peaky Blinders. I can watch the next episode. And so for me, Peaky Blinders, and even in that show, I felt like an attachment to Thomas Shelby. Like he's the bad guy, but is he really the bad guy, or is he just trying to keep himself and his family from imploding? And is he really the bad guy, or was he just born into something? Like, I just felt like an attachment and a connection to that show. And so for me, Peaky Blinders coming out with a movie is, it's like a warm blanket to me. It's like this little, it's something that I am really heavily emotionally attached to. So I'm really excited for the new Peaky Blinders TV show or movie to come out. I cannot wait for it. And I think I'm going to start to rewatch Peaky Blinders now, so I can be refreshed for the movie. Peaky Blinders series finale is the best series finale of any TV show I've ever watched. Normally, writers screw the pooch on the end of a series, and they try to do this really, like, I think they try to make the ending of a series so jaw-dropping that they do something that is extremely uncharacteristic of the character, and you kind of end up going, that is different than the last 6 seasons that we just watched. Peaky Blinders ended and you were like, that's fucking Thomas Shelby right there. It was fabulous. I love that movie. I love that TV show. Okay, now let's just quickly close on a little politicking segment. Jasmine Crockett has just announced that she is running for Senate. Now you may say, wow, excellent. What does that mean? And that's what I said. I had no fucking clue. So I did a little Googling because most, like most adults, all of our, elementary school history is like out the fucking window. Like, I don't even know what the hell I learned at that time. So if you, like me, needed a refresher, this is what I found out. Now, this is all just my own research. And so things might be not quite what I think I figured it out, but I could be slightly wrong. Jasmine Crockett is currently a U.S. representative. U.S. representatives' seats can be affected by gerrymandering. That's when states redraw district maps to gain seats or lose seats in Republican or Democratic districts. So I believe Jasmine Crockett was going to be losing her U.S. representative seat because of the Texas gerrymandering that took place. Now, apparently with the U.S. government, there's the Congress, and under Congress is either the House of Representatives or the Senate. The House of Representatives seats can change based on redistricting. The Senate is always 2 representatives per state, so 100 senators. Jasmine Crockett announced that she is now going to be running for Senate, and I believe that is because right now the House and the Senate are both Republican heavy. And with the redistricting battles going on right now, it is very tenuous on what seats are actually going to be able to be gained or lost in the House right now. Whereas the Senate is always that 100-person seat. And so that's a little bit easier to be able to have a cut and dry, you run your election and either we take the Senate or we don't. So Jasmine Crockett is now running for Senate and is attempting to flip the Senate seats so that we can be Senate heavy in 2026. Now, the thing is remember, I also learned this today, bills need pass from both the House of Representatives and the Senate. So the same bill goes through both houses. The issue right now is Trump is Republican, the House is Republican, and the Senate is Republican. Bills can't be passed if it is stopped by one of those branches of government. So it is very important that we either flip the House in 2026, we flip the Senate in 2026, or we flip both in 2026, because then these really outlandish, cruel, humanitarian crises that we're going through right now, they can actually be stopped. We don't have to wait till 2028 until we get this administration out of the White House. We can stop a lot of what's happening right now with the 2026 elections. So they're highly important. So we will be following Jasmine Crockett's election closely. Of course, I'll be donating to it. I might maybe I'm going to try to figure out ways to spread awareness. And I'm also going to start to focus on other states' Senate races and see how we can help, how we can spread the word, and what we can do to help either flip the House or the Senate. It is December of 2025, which means we are less than a year away from the 2026 elections that will be able to help us get a hold on what is going on right now in politics and in the human rights crisis we are in right now in this country. Now, with that being said, this week, Chic C'est La Vie, ça va, Chic C'est La Vie, ça va, is going to my friends Holly and Brendan. Chic C'est La Vie, ça va is someone that grounded you, someone that made you smile, someone that brought you back down to earth, something that gave your soul joy. And for this week, for me, it is my friends from work, Holly and Brandon, who were constantly checking in on me, constantly reassuring me, constantly telling me, reminding me who I am, and reminding me that I am not, reminding me that I'm okay and everything's going to be okay. And for them, I was saying the other day, I don't think they realize how indebted to them I feel after this week. I know they don't want, I know they don't want anything from me, but what they did for me this week is probably the most important thing that anyone has ever done for me in my life, which is they showed me a love and concern that I have never, ever experienced ever in my life. And for them, every time their phones lit up on my screen, my soul had a little bit lifted up off of it. And that to me they will be important to me in my life forever because of how they were with me this week. And so Brandon and Holly both get a Chic C'est La Vie, ça va. Now, like, rate, review, subscribe, share. We are almost to the end of the year. We're going to be doing some yearly catch-ups, some yearly recaps, and let's just get through the holiday season and try to regroup and reclaim 2026, okay? I saw someone say that we cannot go through another 2025, and I could not agree more. We've got to come out on the other side of 2026. And until next week, bye.